The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Texas, Ms. Johnson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Today, I would like to emphasize the importance of the federal government's role in investment in research and development, R&D, and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, education, play in stimulating growth, creating new industries and jobs, and delivering long-term benefits to our citizens. As a member of the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology, and now as ranking member, I have had the privilege of hearing countless witnesses from industry, academia, and government over the past several years testify that investments in R&D are essential to keeping America competitive in a challenging international marketplace. In fact, according to a paper by the National Bureau of Economic Research, changes in technology are the only source of permanent increases in productivity. If we are to reverse the trend of the last 20 years, where our country's technology edge in the world has diminished, we must make the investments necessary today. The statistics speak for themselves. It is estimated that more than 50% of our economic growth since World War II can be attributed to development and adoption of new technologies. The path is simple. Research and education lead to innovation. Innovation leads to economic development and good-paying jobs and revenue to pay for more research. And as private firms underinvest in research and development because of the returns are too far off in the future, there is a clear and necessary role of government to help our nation keep pace with the rest of the world. More than 50 years ago, DARPA was first created. No one had any idea that the research that they would fund would be responsible for the creation of the internet or the proliferation of the GPS technology, but it did. Those inventions started with federal dollars, as did countless other game-changing technologies. It is clear that federal investments in R&D bring significant returns for decades to come. In 1987, MIT professor Robert Solow was awarded the Nobel Prize in Economics for his work, proving that improved technology and improved education in the workforce was clearly and chiefly responsible for long-term growth, much more than increases in labor or capital. The current best estimate for the return on academic research alone is 28%. Federal efforts are underway now to more vigorously and rigorously quantify the return on federal investments in R&D. Today we find ourselves at a crossroads. The United States remains a leader in science, technology, and innovation, but no longer the unchallenged leader. While our own world-class innovation infrastructure is under stress, our competitors in other countries, even as they institute austerity measures in other parts of their budgets, are seizing the opportunity to make strategic investments in long-term basic research and build and leverage public-private partnerships to support the shorter-term R&D that will help create jobs now and long into the future. As we struggle with our own deficits, we too can make the strategic choice to continue to invest in our future, both in our human capital and physical infrastructure, or we can make the strategic choice to permanently cede our leadership, to fail our current generation of young people, and to put our economy in a state of stagnation for years to come. STEM education is another critical component to the nation's economic competitiveness. Yet, according to the Program for International Student Assessments, the U.S. currently ranks 17th in science and 25th in math out of 34 countries. Though our best STEM students have no trouble competing with their international peers on average, our K through 12 students continue to lag far behind their international peers in math and science aptitude. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, the NAEP 2009 Science Assessment, 34% of the fourth graders, 30% of the eighth graders, and 21% of the 12th graders performed at or above the proficient level in science. When eighth graders were tested again in 2011, they achieved a modest 2-point gain in the percentage of students demonstrating proficiency. I'll ask unanimous consent to put the rest of my statement to record.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.